Every breath you take, every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you. Oh, the adventures, the adventures, the adventures, the adventures, the adventures. What a ride, man. 2014 was when I discovered the term gang stalking, organized mobbing, uh, gang stalking by proxy. I mean, there's so many different names for it. COINTELPRO. 2014 was when I realized there was a term for this phenomenon that I've been going through long before 2014, actually since I was a kid. But for some reason, 2014 was when they wanted your boy to know. They wanted me to know that I was being watched and all this stuff was really going on and happening. So, what, like 9, 10 years now, I've been dealing with this shit. So I feel that I'm highly qualified to give tips on how to deal with the harassment, um, and just be able to just give an account of my experiences in hopes that other people that are coming into the awareness of realizing that they're also being targeted can, have a platform to come to and understand and to have camaraderie with other people that are going through the same thing because baby, baby, you are not alone. You are not alone. I am here with you. So, yeah. Uh this is sloppy. I didn't really prepare for this. I just wanted to kind of throw together a video to kind of show some evidences of harassment and again just to kind of give some tips and some pointers on things that you can do to kind of deal with the harassment and things of that nature. So these videos that I'm going to share, well, the last couple of ones that I'm going to share, I've not posted to YouTube. And one thing I will say, when you're going through this, it is imperative, it is extremely important to, let me make sure this thing is running. Testing, one, two, testing. Okay, cool. Um, this is a really good software, by the way. It's called Bandicam. I actually paid for this. I think it was like 40 bucks or something like that. But if you're going to be posting videos, especially videos pertaining to your harassment and stuff like that, or just any type of videos you want to post to YouTube, and you want to share your screen and stuff like that, like this has worked out brilliantly for me. So I got Bandicam and I got Bandicut. Bandicut is more like, if you want to like chop up the video and add to it and join it and all that kind of stuff. So these are really good software. So anyways, damn, what was I even saying before? Um, so yeah, I just want to share some videos. These last couple of videos that I'm gonna share, I've not posted to YouTube as of yet. Um, I have a lot of footage of my harassment. I'm not the type of person to run to YouTube each and every time I get perped or gang stalked or what have you. One thing I will say as a targeted individual that is very important, because as you know, these people, agent provocateurs, workers of iniquity, agents of Satan, God's rejects, they have so many different names, but it's all the same entity at the end of the day. They will try to find ways to get you set up to either be locked up in jail, prison, or put into a mental facility. Okay? It is imperative as a targeted individual to invest in good cameras. Okay? Not just one camera. Don't just rely on your cell phone camera. You want to have, you know, kind of like an arsenal of cameras. Okay. I personally use cell phone cameras for a lot of my video when I'm taking video footage of my harassment, other things. I also have body cam that I utilize, the same body cam that law enforcement uses. And isn't that kind of funny? Like you get footage of these perps using the law enforcement body cams, and you post it to YouTube, it's like you're getting footage of criminal activity. These are criminals, right? So it's like the point of view from a police body cam. I mean, it's just the irony or whatever. That's the right word for that. But anyways, yeah, invest in cameras. It's important. Cameras that are visible, and then you can also invest in cameras that are more discreet or hidden, which I also have. And try to invest in some really good quality cameras. You may have to pay a pretty penny, but at the end of the day, it's well worth it, especially if you are one where you're constantly being sought after by corrupt law enforcement to try to find ways to get you locked up. Okay. So it's very important. It's very important to save your evidence as well. I've invested in a slew of flash drives to where I just have tons of evidence of my harassment. Okay. So this is just one of many flash drives that I have. As you can see, I have something here for gang stalking. I have my Florida organized stalking and harassment uh, evidences, different places that I've been to. Um, I also have some from when I was in the state of Texas, Texas law enforcement encounters. So as you can see, this shit is everywhere. Okay, no matter where you go, oh, you can run, baby, but you can't hide. Nowhere to run to, baby. Nowhere to hide. I don't know who sings that song, but I'm pretty sure they know about gang stalking. Anyways, but yeah, so it's important to be very organized, keep files. You want to make sure that you have them time stamped. You can mention also make sure, like, if you're using a recording device that does not display the time of the event that occurred, as in the date and the actual, time, whether it was day or night or whatever, you want to mention that on the video that you're making first and foremost. And then when you create your file or you want to save it, you also want to kind of, you know, put that information on there as well. Okay, so um, yeah, it's just very important to do that. Again, this is my law enforcement stuff from the state of Texas. Again, I was all over the place and I got the harassment everywhere. There's so many police encounter videos I have not posted to YouTube. It's crazy. What else do I have? What else do I have? These people will try to set up car accidents. I have car accident evidence that I've yet to even post to YouTube pertaining to the harassment. So be careful with that. You want to have cameras on your vehicle, front and back, and also to the sides as well. I'm going to make a special video kind of showing you guys how I place my cameras in my vehicle when I'm trying to catch these degenerates doing what they do. They will stalk you. Vehicular stalking is a thing that they like to do. Gang stalking, America's new dance craze. um, yeah, so it's important to document because if there ever arises a situation where you're sitting in front of a judge and you're having to deal with the court of law and all this bullshit that I've dealt with on numerous occasions in the state of Texas as well as the Sunshine State, um, you want to be able to have video footage where you're able to articulate and intelligently explain exactly what is going on. You want to fashion your videos in such a manner where the unwitting person that is watching it, someone who does not know about gang stalking, okay, and they're curious and they want to know about it, you've kind of given them the gist, but they still don't understand, and you present them with the video footage. You want to be able to explain it in such a manner to where that person, who is hopefully a thinking person, okay, hopefully someone who has a brain, can look at the video and connect the dots and can clearly see there is something not right with this picture. There's a lot of the same patterns and frequencies of shenanigans that I'm seeing that just doesn't make any sense, but there's something to it. There's something definitely going on. So that's the kind of reaction you want to get. Okay. So again, I'm just making this video for educational purposes. I am beyond the realm of making complaints about this on YouTube. I'm not going to come to YouTube and cry, "Oh, they perped me and this one touched their nose." And I have graduated from that, from that era. And it's okay to, even do that initially, okay? Because you want to get all that kind of shit like out of your system, kind of. But then you want to kind of graduate, you want to kind of mature, and you want to kind of like put videos out that will be helpful and of where you can educate people that are just coming into the awareness of their harassment. Okay. So again, be very organized, invest in cameras, invest in flash drives, save as much as you possibly can. Okay. Just be aware, as I've said previously, no matter where you go, this harassment follows. Okay. Um, where is Rap at? See all these red dots? See all these red dots? These are all the places that I've been in the United States since my targeting from back in 2014. Since I realized I was being targeted in 2014. Okay, these are all the places that I have been. It all started here, good old state of Texas, in the city of Houston. Okay, all these red dots are places that I have been through. I was living out my car for a time. Um, and it was everywhere. You can clearly see this was a being that was on the run. Look at all these red dots, man. Look at that. Okay? I was all over the place. What is my mouse doing? It's having a mind of its own right now. But yeah, so Galveston, Pasadena, Alvin, Texas, Angleton, Texas, a lot of outskirts of Houston, Humble, Texas. Where's Baytown? My boy that has a channel. Um, is it One Sanchez? I think it's one. Let me actually go to his channel real quick. He's currently in Baytown. Yeah, this is him right here. One SRC. Okay. He is currently going through it in Baytown. All right. And here's the map of when I was in Baytown. Um, right here. Okay, so there's my proof that I was actually in Baytown, lived in Baytown for short periods of time. And these dots are all like places that I was parked at. Okay, posted up, parked at. I was homeless, living out my vehicle, just trying to find peace. Okay, so I don't know exactly where my boy is in Baytown, but just to kind of hone in a bit further, kind of show some of the areas that I was in. Um, so if you're watching, uh, yeah, these are some of the areas that I was in. I don't know where you're at. I mean, definitely try, don't always try to give your current location. I don't mind sharing this because these are places that I lived in the past. Okay, so I'm not going to disclose where I'm at currently. I will say that I am in the state of Florida. Okay, but I'm not going to say where exactly. All right, I fled Houston to go to Dallas. That was the first time that I actually left because of the harassment, to try to venture out into other places just to kind of see for myself, because the consensus in the targeted community was that no matter where you go, it follows. So you can hear people out on stuff like that, but sometimes you just want to see for yourself. So that's exactly what I did. I was actually dating a chick at the time who I was trying to get the fuck away from because mm, she just had a lot of perp energy, and I find myself breaking up with her, getting back with her, breaking up with her, getting back with her. Just a steady line of heartbreak that I was experiencing with this woman. I'm like, your spouse is not supposed to give you heartache. Your spouse is, if anything, is supposed to be there to comfort you, support you. And it just seems like when dealing with this woman, it was just always just chaos. On top, excuse me, on top of dealing with perps. So you can imagine having a fucked up ass relationship with someone that's supposed to love you and care for you and look out for you and protect you, right? And then having to deal with these perpetrators, those two don't mix. So I had to get the fuck out of Dodge. I left Houston and I went to the beautiful, beautiful city of Dallas. I've been through Fort Worth. I've been through the outskirts of Dallas, some of the outskirts of Fort Worth. And it was just a breath of fresh air going to this new city. Dallas is so beautiful. Um, it just felt like a place where there's an opportunity to make a whole lot of money. If you have your mind set to that, um, you can really be successful in this place. So it was just so nice to get out of the area that I had been in. The air was different out there. There are some regions that are kind of mountainous, kind of hilly, so that was kind of different. Houston's just kind of like flat. So it was just nice to have experienced that. One thing I will say, even though it felt like a place that you could make some really good money, as a targeted individual, what you'll find is that your life is 10 times harder than that of the average person. So your journey of trying to find a decent job or a job that pays really good money is slim, extremely slim to none. And even if you are able to get it, it doesn't last. Okay. Some of these people will even be happy to hire you on just to have you as a punching bag. Okay. Then you have some targets to where they can't find work at all. So I am very fortunate that I've been able to sustain employment. I've been on the job that I have currently for about 2 years now in the state of Florida. Okay. So that's one of the positive things I can say about my move to the state of Florida was that I have had the same job throughout the whole time that I have been here in the state of Florida. And I'm extremely grateful for that. I am grateful to my employer. Um, because it's a work from home job. So that was an extreme blessing because I feel for the TIs that have to drive to work every day just to make their money. The vehicular stalking and harassment. Why did my screen just do that? I didn't touch anything. Anyways, the TIs that have to drive to work every day and deal with this bullshit. Um, I feel for you because I know what that's like. Been there, done that. Had jobs to where I had to drive. You had to deal with the vehicular harassment. You had to deal with the shenanigans outside of your house in the neighborhood. You had to get through idiots running out in front of you, having their children run out in front of you, bicycles running out in front of you, and then you got people driving aggressive and very hostile around you. And then you get to work, and then you got to deal with that bullshit. You got to deal with the workplace mobbing, people trying to set you up to get fired, and all that fucking shit. Okay? So I feel for you. I was very fortunate. It says in the Bible that the Lord won't put more on you than what you can bear. And I was to the point to where like, man, something's got to give, man. I've been dealing with this shit for so long. I have masterfully dealt with this shit. I have maneuvered through a lot of their traps. Lord, I'm tired. Throw me a bone. Throw me a bone, Lord. So sure enough, I took it upon myself to get online and I searched for work from home jobs and I was able to find this job. Okay. I will not, and nor will I never disclose the name of the company that I work for. And as a targeted individual, you should take heed to that. You don't want to give information about where you're working because you best believe your employer is watching. Okay. My employer knows about my social media. I have not told them about my social media, but you best believe the company that I work for, baby, they know about my social media. Matter of fact, within 2 months of my employment, they had a meeting where everybody, it was like a virtual meeting, and it was a meeting specifically dedicated to people that have social media accounts. And they talked about how an individual went on there and was talking crap about the company, and they ended up getting fired. So if you're a targeted individual and you like having your income and you're working for someone, definitely want to you don't want to disclose the name of your company. Now, you can talk about what's happening and what's going on, but as long as you don't say the name of the company, that should be fine, okay? As you know, as a targeted individual, it doesn't matter where you work, you're still going to experience the workplace mobbing, okay? So it's no different with my situation, but again, I'm not going to disclose the name of the company I work for. It is a work from home job. They did provide me with equipment, um, like a desktop and all that kind of stuff, company issued equipment. And, again, I can work from anywhere. Um, so yeah, I just wanted to put that information out there. Do not get online and talk about the company that you work for and you're mentioning the name of the company because they will find out. And what you'll then start experiencing is that they will start nitpicking and trying to find ways to get you up out of there. Okay, so be smart about it. All right, so yeah, I got that job in Florida. I stayed in Dallas, the Dallas and surrounding area for about 4 months, and then that's when I took my trip across states. Made my way through Louisiana. Um, yeah, so from Dallas, I think I took this route. Okay, so that's why you have a red dot right there. This was like previous trips I had taken, you know, throughout the years when I was living in Houston, visited Louisiana and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, this is the route that I took when I traveled from Dallas to Florida. That's why you have a dot right there, and yeah, all these little dots. Spent some time in Georgia. I've been all over the place, okay? So I just wanted to show you what the Bible says when they persecute you in one place. What do? Lead to the next. So this is clearly the signs of me fleeing from one place to the next. And there is still no relief. There is still no peace. The shit is everywhere you fucking go. Okay. Now with the job that I have, um, again, I can work from anywhere as long as it is in the state of Florida. I can pretty much, you know, uh, have the job or whatever. But um, what was I gonna say? So I do Airbnbs. Okay, these are the places that I have been to. Um, again, I've been all over the place: Gainesville, Williston, High Springs, Florida; Bartow, Florida; Davenport, Florida; Jacksonville, Florida; Kissimmee, Florida; Altamonte Springs, Florida; Lake Mary, Florida; Lake Butler, Florida. Where else? Where else? Winter Haven, Florida; Alachua, Florida. And that's the video that I'm going to share at the end of this video. Was some perp and police encounters that I had at this park. So just to show proof of everything, I like to have receipts for what I talk about. You have a lot of people that make videos that are allegedly targeted individuals, and they talk and talk and talk and talk, but have no evidence of what they're going through or the harassment. No evidence of it. And I'm not taking away from their experience. Some people aren't as gifted or skilled with recording their harassment and being able to articulate on video what's happening to them. Some people just don't have that talent, or they just don't know how to do it. So I'm not going to say that people that just talk about their harassment aren't really going through it, but by God, wouldn't it be better to watch something with some action on it? You're talking about your experiences, but not only talking about it, you have receipts. So that's what I like to have, is receipts and to show people. So again, when I started watching targeted individual videos, um, I just noticed the quality of a lot of people's videos was just bad. Like them documenting what's going on. These people weren't given the context to what was happening. It's just like they'll just show a car just sitting there, and that's it. This person's gang stalking me. It's just a car sitting there. You know what I'm saying? Give more context. What led up to that situation? What's going on? Who's in the vehicle? Get the license plate number. And there's a lot of things that you can do to be able to give more information and educate other people that are going through this stuff. Okay, so I like to have a platform to where I'm thorough and I can pretty much showcase what I'm talking about. Okay, so again, I've been all over the place. Um, Look at some of my reviews, just for people that want to say, "Oh, this dude's a bad guy," and he's crazy, blah blah blah. I have stayed with so many different people. Now, granted, some of these people were perps, but not all of them. Okay, not everybody's a perp. All right. So where am I trying to go with this? Okay, account, go to profile. All right. So all my reviews. This is kind of what I have in my bio. Friendly but very shy, quiet and private, not into small talk. I'm a good mix between a loner and an introvert, currently traveling through and exploring Florida. I enjoy spending lots of time in nature, tree, rock climbing, as my YouTube viewers know, because I post videos on that. I have a deep love for children and animals, although I have none of my own. I do not shake hands, so please don't be offended. Non-smoker here. Oh, the reason why I don't shake hands. So there's something called transference of energy. Sometimes people that know about energy, can try to transfer their negative shit that they have going on in their life onto you. So that's why I don't shake everybody's hand. I'm not saying that I don't ever shake hands, but I have to kind of be around you for a while to like get to know you before I even have any type of physical contact or let someone touch me or anything like that. So, and I'm also a sensitive too. Like I tend to touch people and see things, and I don't. Sometimes I don't want to see everybody's shit. But anyways, these are some of my reviews. I'm not gonna say who's a perp and who's not. I'm just gonna let that be. But again, just know in some of these places, um, you will run into fucking big time fucking perps. So just some of my reviews here. I'll just kind of scroll through. My mouse is having a mind of its own right now. I've stayed with different races of people, different cultures, ethnicities, you name it. She was from merry old England. And let's see. Yeah, I've stayed with all kind of people. Some of my stays were repeat stays. Uh, this was my very first Airbnb experience right here. And I'll have to make a whole another video about at least one or two of these people because there was some shit that went down that needs to be talked about so that other people doing Airbnbs can be aware of. So, um, yeah, so I just wanted to share that real quick. Also, all right, so if I'm a terrorist, right, if I'm on a terrorist watch list and I've been deemed a terrorist, something else I wanted to touch on real quick. So, when I was living in the state of Texas, I worked in the private security industry. No, not everybody that's a security officer is a perp or a gang stalker, just like not everybody that works in law enforcement is a perp or gang stalker. You have some of these entities and individuals that are involved. Okay. For a time, I worked as a security officer in the state of Texas. I recently got my license renewed, as you can see here. Okay. Just recently, we're in the month of August. And this is, July, and this is when it expires. So I did that as a backup. I've been here in the state of Florida for a little while, but again, you never know what could happen, and I want to at least have some type of backup so that if I needed to get a job real quick, I know I can go back to the state of Texas. Security companies will hire you. You just have to have a valid license. And it's known that I go to work every day. I never miss a day of work. Even working for the company I work for now, I have never missed a day of work. How could you? And you work from home. Now, when I was going through court shit, there were months that I had to take a day off to go to court. Even then, I didn't stay gone the whole day. I would go to court and then come back and get logged into work. But anyways, as long as you have an active license, you go to work every day. You can get it. You can get a security. It's one of the easiest jobs to get, so that's why I would always make sure I have my license, whatever. Um, I had no desire to do security work out here in Florida. When I came out here, I totally wanted to do something totally different. So, but anyways, yeah. So if I'm a terrorist, why would they allow me to get a security license? And they also use private security companies to do the stalking and harassment as well. You best believe while working on post that I was being stalked and harassed, even by my own comrades, okay? They would intentionally send me to post to work for the sole purpose of having psychological operations enacted upon me, okay? So again, not all security officers uh are gang stalkers, okay? There's a video I want to try to find where a lady who's a uh security officer doesn't help police. This was in Houston, Texas, by the way. And this is it right here. Okay. This shit right here, this shit right here, this is street theater. This shit was not real. Okay. This is the type of shit that they would do to me when I was working on my security post. Okay. Let me click on this shit. It's not that long of a video. 1 second. Let me get the
Cops are in a
volume.
serious struggle.
Stop. I said stop. All right. To the unwitting person, this just looks like, oh, drama, whatever. But to the TI, pay attention to this video. This is the kind of shit they would do to me, the psychological operation shit they would do to me when I would work these posts.
Two cops are in a serious struggle with a suspect.
Help me! Record me!
The teen suspect appears to resist as a crowd gathers at a gas station in Houston. And as happens these days, several bystanders are recording the incident with their cell phones. But who's that? She's a security guard, and she sure seems to be ignoring the police officer's plea for assistance.
She was completely oblivious as to what was going on out there.
Joe Gamaldi is president of the Houston Police Officers Union.
As a security guard, you go through training, you wear a uniform, you wear a badge. She should absolutely be ashamed that she didn't even call 911. I mean, at the very least, she could have called for our officers and get them some help out there, and she did nothing.
The security company she works for fired her after seeing the video. Police around the country are asking citizens to get involved when they safely can. Just this week in New York City, the Sergeants Union announced it's offering cash as an incentive.
We will offer a $500 reward for any individual who comes to the aid.
Okay, so that's enough. So this was street theater. She lost her job over something that was fucking fake, okay? I'm going to show y'all a quick video on my channel. And y'all can go check. I'm not going to play the whole video that I'm going to show you on my channel. I'm just going to show you like where it's at and the title of it is. I had a very similar experience where, one second. Here, videos. All right. I worked a post. It was like I think they had like it was a complex of different businesses I was working at, okay? And I'm going to show y'all the video. Further down. And it was the accident that had occurred, and it was just all a fucking setup. It was something out of like a Hollywood fucking movie, the way they set that whole thing up. But again, I'm not gonna talk too much about it. I just want to show y'all where the video's at and what the title of it is. Go back and watch it for yourself, and then compare it to this video here. Title: Security guard criticized for ignoring officer's pleas for help during arrest. Now, why is the officer...
But who's that? She's a security guard, and she sure seems to be ignoring the police officer's plea for assistance.
She was...
See? Why is his request geared towards that security officer? Okay? What is she gonna do? You got two grown men that's already on top of this guy, but it's like the whole thing was geared towards the security officer, okay? So it was a psychological operation. They did the same bullshit to me to test me, but the difference between me and her was I actually helped, even though I knew it was bullshit, because I knew had I not helped, okay, that I would have lost my job. So this whole thing was set up by my employer at the time. I'm not going to say the name of the company. Where is this damn video? Before that or after? After all this. Forgive me. Here. Gang stalking undercover cop hits pedestrian in my presence. This video and this video. Okay, so look these two videos up. This was straight street theater, okay? Straight up street theater. All right, so that one. This one. Okay. I even put it in my video, psyop or not. All right. So you watch those videos and be the judge. So again, don't think that all security officers or police officers are involved in this shit, because we're not. You got some people that know about what's going on, and it ain't shit they can do about it, cops included. Okay? I just wanted to point that out. If I'm a fucking terrorist, why would they? Now, mind you, when you apply for to be a security officer and work for private security industry, you go through background checks. You go through checks, local law enforcement, state to state, and federal level. Okay, FBI checks you out. You get your fingerprints goes to the FBI and all that shit. Okay, so I am not a fucking terrorist. I am not a criminal. This is my licensing information. All right, I'm currently active with that. All right, so moving on. What else was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, so the videos. So I wanted to share some videos with you guys. So here's just some examples of harassment that I was experiencing. So again, to the targeted individual, it's I don't even really have to narrate. You can look at it for yourself and see what's going on and see the patterns and the shenanigans that these people follow. But to the unwitting person, you can also tell there's something not right with the situation. Now, in some of these videos that I'm going to show you, I start off by making a prediction of what's going to happen, and then it actually comes to pass, okay? It has nothing to do with being a psychic or anything like that. It's just that when you've gone through this shit for so many years, these people's tactics don't change. It's the same fucking tactics. They just use different people to do this shit, okay? Sometimes they might switch things around a little bit, but when you look at it as a whole, it's like they're following a textbook. Okay, so over the years, you learn these things and learn their tactics and how they move, and then you come up with your own ways and intelligences of how to counter it. So let's watch this first video. Let me give some context here. So this is when I was living out my car. This is the older car that I had. I have a different vehicle now, but I was living out my car here. I was parked at a location that was discreet. There was no other cars parked there. Kind of later in the evening, and then you have this weird vehicle that just pulls up and just kind of slow rolling, lurking around. I do narration in the video, so I'll let that speak for itself. I'll go back.
So we got these people that are just following me around. Then you got this vehicle that just basically just pulled up, has blocked me in. It's a silver four-door vehicle. It's a Lexus FWF 5765. So this is gang stalking at its finest. I pulled up to this like parking area, and this vehicle is still halfway in front of me. Like they're fucking retarded. You understand what I'm saying? I come to these discreet locations to come park and be at peace to myself, and you have these idiots that pull up.
There's no reason for this person to be there. There's no reason. I'm living out my vehicle, so that's why I'm there. I have nowhere to go. I don't have a home. I'm pretty sure that this stalker has somewhere to go lay his or her head. I never was able to see who was in the car, gender or race or whatever, or if there were multiple people. All I observed was just some vehicle pulling up halfway parked in front of me. So yeah.
Nobody else in this parking lot.
Okay. So that's the first part. There's a second part to this video. This same vehicle comes back again.
And I don't know what this vehicle wants. It's come back again. It's rolling back around again. I don't know what they want or who they are. Just making documentation of it.
And that's all you can do is get documentation. Don't try to confront these people. Sometimes it's okay to do it. So you got to have balance. Sometimes you got to know when to stand down, and then other times you got to know when to fight and be a warrior. Okay. Be very smart about your moves. Use your discernment because again, in certain encounters, they are counting on you to give a response that would warrant them to call law enforcement to come get you arrested. Not in every single case, but there are some cases where this is their day to get you. Okay. So you got to be smart about it. You got to pay attention to what, don't just look at the gang stalker in front of you. Get a 360 scope of what's going on around you because, again, they try to get your attention set on one thing. But see, using the God-given intuition and discernment that you have to have situational awareness. In law enforcement, they have to be keen on this trait and characteristic in order to be a cop. You know, you have to have good situational awareness. Knowing what's going on around you, all around you, at all times. Okay, it's the same thing when you're going through this harassment, dealing with these people. Pay attention to what's going on in the sky. You might have drones that are sitting up there waiting for you to make a response and they're record. I have observed all this shit. Okay. If I see people trying to get my attention and doing bullshit, I turn around and look behind me. I might look around the corner, see what's going on, and you would be surprised what you would discover. So just be smart about your encounters. There's a guy named Nappy Head Roots who's currently in jail right now. I think the charge he had was making terroristic threats. This dude was known for getting in the faces of these gang stalkers. And I commend this dude because he is a real true patriot and a true hero um, who was getting these people's faces and exposing them. And sometimes it was a bit extreme, I feel. But considering what these people do to us, there was nothing extreme about what he was doing. He was simply trying to expose it. He was calling these people what it is. They're terrorists. That's what they are. They're treasonous. Okay. But there were times to where he kind of went overboard with it. And now they were finally able to set him up and get him locked up in a facility out in California. Okay. This is what they try to do to us. So just be smart about who you approach when this is being done to you. Sometimes it's just best to just record and not say nothing. And then other times, you have to say something, okay? So all I'm saying is be smart about it. Wise as a serpent, gentle as a dove. All right? Where am I at? Okay. So we're done with those two. Let's go to this one. The setting for this one is I was at a church parking lot. My favorite spots to be when I was living out my car. Oh, those church parking lots. Let me explain the logic behind that, okay? Because most people were thinking like, you're an idiot for parking at these church parking lots. They're private property, blah, blah, blah. No, you don't understand the method to my madness. The whole point of me parking at these church parking lots was because I knew that church parking lots don't have activity, okay? You're not going to have the public at church parking lots, especially during the week. Um, you never see activity at church parking lots during the week, right? Maybe with the exception of Wednesday evening because a lot of churches have Bible study. But then also, for sure Sunday is going to be on and popping. Parking lots are going to be full of vehicles and stuff like that. So those 2 days I kind of avoided. But all those other days, I thought of it like I would have the place to myself. So what the cops were doing, or what the perps were doing rather, was they knew they couldn't pull up on me in the middle of the night at a church parking lot because then they would be caught red-handed. Okay? So what they did instead was they would have the police come out and visit with me. Okay? So that's why I had a lot of my police encounters was police approaching me while I was on church property because they knew they couldn't send perps because that would be highly suspicious. Who is this random vehicle just pulling up on me in the middle of the night? That just proves my point that I'm being stalked and harassed. So they had to switch it up and let the police do their work. So that's why I say the police are definitely involved in organized stalking and harassment. They work in tandem with these citizens, some of which are InfraGard, Neighborhood Watch, HOA members, uh, just different parts of society. They use different ethnicities of people. It's never going to be just white people, Mexican people, black people. They use all different races of people to do this shit because they operate under plausible deniability. If they use the same person all the time, you can then pinpoint where the criminal activity is coming from. But since they use different people, it's a lot harder. And they're more geared towards saying that you're insane because you're the type of person that has this paranoid mentality and you feel that everyone's out to get you. That's what a lot of these people like to say. But until they experience it for themselves, they have no idea what life is like dealing with it. So anyways, that's the setting of this video. I was at a church parking lot, a mega church, have you? What side of town was this on? This was like the Texas City area, to give you some, uh, you know, yeah, let me just play the video.
Good day to everyone. I am at a whole new church that I've never been to before, church parking lot. Let me get the date. May 29th, 2019, Wednesday, 6:26 a.m.
To my point from earlier, when you're documenting, if you're using a cell phone camera, if you don't already have a timestamp embedded on the video, it's important to mention the date in your video and the time and why you're articulating what's happening. So that's very important. So again, for educational purposes, for people that are recording, this is the proper way to do it. Also, you also want to hold your camera sideways. A lot of these videos that I have, I do apologize, they're horizontal. You want to make sure that you're holding the camera vertically because you can cover more surface area. You have more of a view for the viewers, okay? So that was my mistake. Again, when I was making these videos, I was kind of a rookie. I was still trying to learn myself, learn how to record properly myself. So I just wanted to kind of point this out. You want to record vertically. You want to record sideways so that you can get more surface area of, the environment.
Okay, so let me just get footage of the park. It's a huge church with huge parking. There's parking on this side. That's the church building off in the distance. And then there's also more parking on the other side of the church as well. I'm just gonna move over here so I can get somewhat of a footage over there. So initially I was gonna kind of park over there, but then I noticed that truck over there and someone is in that vehicle with their window down. But anyways, I just finding a
Sometimes, so again, they profile you, right? They know everywhere you like to go, places you like to shop. They knew that my MO was parking at churches. So sometimes, if they knew that I was in an area, and again, they know that I church hop, right? So they would try to determine what church I would be at. So sometimes they would have people already there waiting on me. So that's kind of like what that situation was, where that vehicle, because see, if that vehicle wasn't there, I would have parked my vehicle back over there. But see, they knew that I wouldn't want to park around anyone, so they figured, okay, the probability of him parking in this area is higher for the mere fact that he sees this vehicle over here, he's not going to want to be over by that vehicle, okay? So they calculate, there's a math to this shit, man, I'm telling you. That's why I say it's not just regular people that's organizing this shit. This is some government military with pinpoint accuracy type activity that's going on. Okay, they have mastered this shit. They have it down to a math and a science. Fast math measuring what you amount to. Let's continue.
anyways, I just finding a place to park and get rest so that I got to go to work later on. So I'm just trying to find somewhere peaceful to park. There's no one.
That's a 2002 Ford Focus, by the way. I'm a tall black dude. I'm over 6 feet tall. You can only imagine how treacherous it was to be able to sleep in that vehicle. I am blessed and thankful that I have a vehicle that's a lot bigger now. I'm currently not homeless. Again, I've been working my full-time job for 2 years now, so I've been able to have a shelter over my head and stuff like that. So I have come a long way. And so will you. If you're in a situation like this, do not feel bad. Things will get better. I mean, there's seasons where things will be really dark, and then if you can just kind of push through the darkness, over time you'll come upon opportunities that'll open up to where you can live a little bit better. So, there's always, like I said, the only thing I can explain it as is just different seasons of going through certain things, and then other seasons where everything is just kind of, it's still bad, but it's a lot better. But then it could be worse. All right, let's go.
I'm in this parking lot. Again, it's 6:26 a.m. and I'm just chilling, just hanging out, minding my own business. and hopefully I don't get harassed. Matter of fact, I see that I'm kind of parked in this, well, the fire lane paint ends right there. So my reasoning for parking like this is because I don't want any weirdos walking up to my car. I try to prevent, because what they'll do is they like to walk around your car and walk real close to you and stuff like that. So I figured if I park closer to the brush here, that'll kind of deter that or prevent that. There would be no reason for anyone to be walking around my vehicle over here. You understand what I'm saying? So that's my reasoning for parking over here like this. So if
Context, 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 context. It is important to do a before and after. So that this is the proper way to document. When you get to an area and you're trying to have peace, if you're trying to, okay, so your objective is to catch these people, right? Is to expose what's going on. So when you get to an area that is deserted, where you know the probability of people being there is extremely slim to none, and then all of a sudden people show up, that's a clear indication that, and if you experience that on a frequent basis, if you see a pattern of that happening, the probability of these people being gang stalkers is very high. So you want to give context. You want to do a before video to where you're showcasing how there's no vehicles here. You know, at this time, there's nothing going on. I'm here by myself. You stop that footage. At the end of the first video, though, you want to say something to the effect of, if there's anything of relevance to the theme of this video, I will go ahead and start a second video. I am cutting this video off now because for the purpose of conserving the energy of my phone and also conserving memory on my phone, okay? So I don't want to have this continuously running. But if there's something of relevance to the theme of this video that does occur, I will be sure to start another video. Okay, just something. It doesn't have to be just like that, but just something to that effect. I'm just trying to educate people on how to properly document and catch these motherfuckers in the act of what they're doing. Let's continue.
anybody calls the cops over me over here, you already know what time it is. There shouldn't be no one over here. I mean, even if there is, I'm not bothering you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking off into what you're doing and what you got going on or anything like that. So I know me personally, if I'm driving and I saw a car parked off to the side like that, I wouldn't even worry about it or have any concern, you know, because that's none of my business. So anyways, I'm just making this video. I am about to relax. Let me get footage inside my car. I went to Walmart earlier, got a few things, and now I'm about to chill out. You guys have a wonderful day. I'll get with y'all later.
Okay, so I gave context of what was going on in my environment. I also put the video, the camera off in my vehicle to show what I had going on and what my intent is. So again, stuff like this is really important just in case you're in a situation where you have to go before a judge, and you can pull your video evidence out and you can say, Judge, look, this is what I was doing and this is what happened. But see, whenever they would put these fake ass charges on me, my cases never went to trial, okay? They would just arrest me just to put me through hell, to torture me and put me through the process. But I was always glad to await the day for me to go to trial on any of these fake ass charges that they put on me, because I would be happy to pull out my videos to expose this shit so that they could have it on record. But you know why they don't want to take it to trial? Because they don't want none of that shit on record. Okay? So don't be too concerned when they put these fake ass charges on you, especially if you know you're innocent. Don't worry about it. Go through the process. Eventually they'll dismiss the shit. Okay? Depending on what it is, you know, like if you kill someone and you know that you got blood on your hands and they can prove you did that shit, then that's a whole nother story. But in my cases, I committed no fucking crimes. Okay? But they still took me in, had me locked up in these cells. They tortured the fuck out of me while I was in jail. Okay? And it's just geared towards fucking with you and just putting more stress on your life, basically. Okay? So that's the first part of that video. Here's the second part.
Alright, so this is case in point. This is part 2 of the footage that I made earlier of coming to this church parking lot to get some rest. And here you have this idiot that has driven over here basically to try to cause me strife and to try to cause disruptions in my sleep. You understand what I'm saying? There is nobody else in this parking lot. Look at all this space. He deliberately has his dog over here trying to harass and provoke me to anger so that I'll say something to him. So now this idiot's next move is going to be to contact law enforcement to say that I'm being a problem when I'm just sitting over here minding my own business. Let me go ahead and get footage of where my vehicle is. But I'm not being harassed.
Are we in agreement that that's a perp? Okay. And again, during this time, I wasn't just some bum living out my vehicle. Woe is me. I was actively searching for employment, trying to find jobs. And a lot of times I get these measly ass jobs that paid like a little bit over minimum wage and all that kind of shit. I'm not on Einstein, but I have enough intelligence to hold down a decent job to make good money. I'm a quick learner. I'm a good worker. I come to work every day. I'm not disabled. I can work. I want to work. But when you're in this program, they make it 10 times harder for you to get a job. And then if you get a job, you're used as a punching bag and your workplace mobbed, okay? During this time period, I was working at a doggy hotel. I was working at a dog resort, okay? Let me find that video. 1 second. Dang it. I need to be more prepared for it. 1 second. Your channel. I was working at a dog resort, and I'll show you that video too, so you can kind of like have some other material to go off of as far as like the time frame of when this particular instance or encounter occurred. Um, Scroll down, further down. Uh, that, yep, here. Okay, so this is the video. I was working overnight. Okay.
Cool, and we were really excited about it.
All right, so I'll let y'all watch the video. I just wanted to kind of show y'all like I was working during that time, and I had to get sleep during the day so that I could have energy to work overnight. And that was hard work, working, cleaning out them damn dog kennels and dealing with, I mean, it was beautiful dealing with the dogs. I love that part, but having to clean up shit and stuff like that, that was kind of, it's a lot of hard work. But manual labor type shit. But I was trying to get sleep, and that's what they were doing. That's part of their whole sleep deprivation thing is like I would find a spot that is peaceful, quiet. I try to go to sleep, and then they send perps around me. So there you have it.
It's mental illness, right? Let's get footage of where my vehicle is. But I'm not being harassed. It's mental illness, right? Let's pan around. Let's pan around. Out of all the places in the world, of course he has his phone in his hand. He's getting instructions from his handler as to how to proceed with his harassment.
Even the dog is like, "What the hell? What are we doing here? Why aren't we at our usual doggy park? Why are we over here?"
All right. And this is the community. This is called Community Church over here off of 270 near East Main.
Actually, this area that I was in was Webster, Texas, which is close, kind of close to Texas City. So it was the Webster, Texas area.
So it doesn't matter where I go. It does not matter whether I get an apartment.
And how rude is that? Like I'm over there, I'm trying to sleep in my car. You really gonna let your dog out so the dog can come over there and shit next to my car so while I'm asleep I can smell shit? You get what I'm saying? These people are evil as fuck, man. They're so fucking wicked.
Whether I get a mobile home, it does not matter. It does not matter. This is what follows. Out of all places in the parking lot, right? He could have went further down over there. It's not a dog park.
And I looked it up. There are dog parks in that area, man. They're total dog parks. Like, who brings their dog to a church to come take a shit?
Right? It's not a dog park. Anyways, that's my part 2. We'll see if there'll be a part 3.
All right, so this is the kind of shit they do to try to provoke you, to try to get you to, to engage with them or confront them or whatever. So, like I said, a lot of the time it's best to just document. Don't approach. Um, Sometimes you can approach. It just depends on how you feel, man. Use your discernment. It's good to expose these people, but just be aware that they will try to set you up on some bullshit, try to get you locked up in that jail or that nut house. Baby, they ain't got me in no nut house, nor will they ever get me in the nut house. I will have them people looking so fucking stupid. That's why they don't never take me to trial when they put these fake ass charges, because I will have these people looking stupid, just stupid. Okay, so there's my evidences of that. What's this? Oh, so this was a place I had permission to park at. I actually spoke to the owner of this facility. Okay, this was in Kema, Texas. This was still around the time that I was working at that dog resort, trying to find places in the daytime to get rest and go to sleep. This facility was it was a gymnastics. It was a gymnastics facility. At first, I thought the business was closed. Okay, I parked there. The owner pulled up to me, real nice guy. And he says, he's like, hey, what's going on? Do you need help or anything? I was like, no. I explained my situation to him. I'm trying to get back on my feet. I recently got a job in the area. I work overnight. I'm just trying to find a peaceful spot I can park at to get rest. I actually thought this facility was closed down, so that's why I'm here. He was like, okay, man. Yeah, it's okay for you to park here. That's fine. And then he asked me like how much time I needed or how long. I was like, man, maybe for like the next couple months or so. He was like, that's cool, that's cool. So we got to talking to each other, and everything was cool. He had his daughter with him too. He had like a little girl. Um, I have a video posted of that on my channel as well. Should I try to find it right now? One second. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Let me go back here. It was right around this time, so it should be up in here somewhere. Be close to here. Why is internet slow? All of a sudden, the internet's want to be janky right now. I'm trying to. Where's that? It's around. Here it is. This one right here. Look up this video on my channel. Okay, this was the gymnastics facility. The dude was like a instruct. He actually owned the facility. That's a black guy, and yeah. So it was a place that kids would go to do gymnastics and stuff, teenagers and stuff like that. So look up uh, look up this video. Okay, his little girl was so sweet. That encounter made my day so much. It was like having the interaction with his daughter was so soothing to my soul, because the innocence of children, man, there's something about that. It's like it's so pure, it's so innocent, it's so righteous. And I was just so fortunate to have had experienced that day. So look that video up. That goes in correlation with this, what's going on here. This is a stalker, okay? He had no right to be there. He was trespassing himself, okay? And we'll see what he says. One second. And that's what these weirdos like to do. Right when I go to sleep or I'm on the verge of REM sleep, they'll show up and do shit like this. They'll park right by my vehicle. So only God knows what these people are doing while I'm in my vehicle sleep. These people do have the ability to induce sleep as well, okay? So they could put me in a deep sleep. These people could pull up, do God knows what to me, and I'd wake up and never even know what happened. So I just so happened to wake up in this situation and see this fool just parked right there, watching me like a weirdo, trying to get some sleep. So we'll see what he says. 1 second.
Are you stalking me?
No,
Are you harassing me?
no, man. I just flew a red light. I'm trying to put the cop over there. You just drove by. I didn't mean to bother you, sir.
Sorry, that's disgusting. What kind of sense does that make, dude? You just blew a red light. Let me get his face on. You just blew a red light and you're trying to get away from the cops. So my little ass Ford Focus is gonna be able to conceal and hide your big ass SUV? Really? Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So that's just more evidence of these flying monkeys. Dudes probably infraguard or some shit, doing what they do, trying to cause strife, trying to like disrupt your peace, trying to keep you from getting sleep, sleep depriving you. That's just what they do. Because if they can do those things, the likelihood of you losing your mind and them being able to put you in a mental facility is increased, right? Because if you don't get the adequate amount of sleep that your body needs, that can do something to you psychologically over time. So that's what they were shooting for. But being that I am a being that possesses an infinite wealth of energy, okay? It never happened. All right? Let me continue to play some more stuff. Oh, nope, not a perp. That's me. That's I'm not a perp. 1 second.
Thank you.
I was actually picking up breakfast for my boss. During that time period, I was working two jobs for a short period. I worked at the doggy resort and I also worked at a mechanic shop. I was running errands for parts and trying to learn a thing or two about fixing vehicles or what have you. But yeah, my boss would have me every morning go pick him up breakfast at nasty ass McDonald's. He looked out for me a lot too. That was during the time I was having a lot of police encounters in Galveston, and he was very concerned about me because being a black dude, all the stuff that was going on with police killing unarmed black men is all they were putting in the media at the time. He was very concerned about me. He's a Caucasian guy. So he kind of took me under his wing. He was like, "You can stay at the shop." And then I served as a security for the shop. He had little shit going on where people like stealing shit and stuff like that. So I had experience with security work, so it all worked out. So I was living in the back of his shop next to a trash can, next to a big ass dumpster. I've been through some shit, man. You got people putting out videos trying to give targeted individuals advice on how to live their life or how to do better for themselves. If you just pull yourself up by your bootstraps and get to work, man, get the fuck out of here with your bullshit. You don't have no videos of your struggles or experiences. You're sitting up there trying to give people advice that is really going through this shit. You have no room to talk. You live a very sheltered life. You're probably born with a silver spoon in your mouth. You have your home, you know, with your picket white fence, and you're sitting in the comfort of your home trying to preach to targeted individuals on what to do to live a better life. Get the fuck up out of here. These people, for the life of me, I just will not understand like how you feel you can tell us how to live our lives, and you have no experience. Okay, I'm a vet at this shit. Been going through this shit over 9 years, knowingly that this was a thing. But this was going on way before then. So, if anything, people like myself and other seasoned targeted individuals are able to speak on this and give advice and educate people on how to survive rather than someone who's never lived out of their fucking car or who has lost everything and has had to start from scratch. Okay? So let's continue. 1 second. This was me going into a gas station. You know, it was a little perp activity here. That's me in the green. I wear shades a lot when I'm out and about. Because one thing that I've heard, and I think my brother told me this, when if they have you on remote neural monitoring, that's where they can actually see through your eyes. If you wear sunshades, it can distort what they're seeing through your eyes. Okay, so if you're in a situation where you don't want them to see something or something that's going on, if you wear dark sunglasses, it can distort them being able to see what you see. Okay, so oftentimes I would wear shades a lot when I'm out and about. Sometimes I would wear shades in grocery stores as well. Um, I would put earbuds in and stuff like that. So let me just play this real quick. Notice the white and black theme. Okay, white shirt, black pants, and these flying monkeys have different color codes. So sometimes I've experienced days where everybody's wearing red, and then other days it's like, oh, they're wearing blue. It's like it's just very psychotic. And on some of these videos, if you pay close attention, these people are there. So first and foremost, the people that are involved in the harassment, perps, they get real-time notifications that you're recording. So oftentimes what you'll find is that if you're trying to maybe do a business transaction or something like that, if you have your recording device going, what you'll find is that your interactions will go a lot smoother as opposed to you not having any recording devices or recording anything. It's almost as if like they behave a little bit more. That still doesn't stop a lot of them from still pulling off their shenanigans. But what you'll find is it's a lot easier to get certain things done if you can record your interaction. Okay. So I just noticed how that guy just kind of looked straight over at my vehicle. There was nobody in my vehicle. I'm just parked at the gas pump. And I just noticed like how he just kind of got eyes on the vehicle or might have even been looking at my camera, to know for sure that, okay, this guy's recording. We got to call off our shenanigan or adjust it. Yep, here we go. Here we go. We got another white and black, the white and black theme. See, this dude got notification I was in the store. So he was trying to lurk around because I was still in the store, handling my business or whatever. So his whole objective was to have an encounter with me. Okay. So pay attention to this dude. You're gonna see he's gonna go out of the space of the camera for a while until I come out, and then that's when he's gonna try to walk into the store. So notice the white and black back over here. Where's this 113? You'll see the chick that walked out the store. See the white and black right there. Okay, where we're 113. One second. Yeah, I'll start from right here. White and black day. There he goes. I'm still in the store. I was just in there trying to get like something cold to drink. It was hot as shit, living out your car and stuff like that. I was actually in a rental car that day. See how he tries to have the interaction? He stalled just to have that interaction with me. Okay. There's another white and black, white and black. You see what I'm talking about? So that whole encounter there was to slow me up so that this individual could be in the mix as well. See, had I stopped to hold the door open, I would have been in the mix of all this bullshit. So I just kept walking. Okay. He was trying to slow me up with some kind of conversation. I just kept walking. Now, you have to use discernment, okay? What I did was not rude. It's just me surviving. It's me seeing through the scheme of their bullshit and avoiding it, okay? You got some people that get on here talking about preaching love, oh, just love everyone. These people have no love for us. It's expected of us to love and turn our cheeks and all this kind of shit, but these people have no mercy on us, man. And even the Bible, it's spoken of God's warriors. So there are people that turned over tables like Jesus did. There are people that went to war and killed their enemies and stuff like that. So it's no different in this day and age. I'm not condoning saying going out killing people, but if it does come to that at some point, you do what you got to do to protect yourself at the end of the day. If your life is threatened, by all means, whatever force you deem necessary to take care of it, do what you got to do. These people know that I won't hesitate. Okay, I'm going to protect myself. But anyways, there's the theme of white and black. All right. All right, and you can look this video up on my channel. Stop to get a drink. Notice a something. I don't know. You can find it. Just look that up on my channel. It's posted. Okay. So again, I just wanted to showcase this. I was driving a rental car at that time because Perps had set up an accident in my Ford Focus. My Ford Focus was in the body shop. The Perps insurance was paying for my shit, so that paid for the rental and all that. So that's why I was in a different car. Okay. All right, let's move on to the meat of this video is this encounter that I had. This is Florida, okay? These other videos I was showing you, all this shit over here was Texas, okay? Including these. All this over here was Texas. This is Florida. Now again, I have a shitload of videos of my experiences in Florida that I have yet to post. This is all my Florida shit. I have other flash drives with encounters with perps and police in Florida. Okay, here's some more little stuff or whatever. So I'm just showcasing what I've dealt with in the state of Florida. I've held back on posting uh, my Florida experiences with gang stalking and harassment for a good while now because when I initially came to Florida, my mindset was I'm going to totally do my best to ignore this shit if possible. Okay, I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to focus on my healing. Okay, I'm going to focus on taking care of my vessel. Um, I did a cleanse for like a whole month where I was taking deworming medicines, not medicines, but like supplements to uh, cleanse the inside of my system. I was taking stuff for parasites because I had been living out my car for the longest time, off and on for years. Okay, sometimes people would reach out, hey, you can stay over here for a little while. I would stay there and stuff like that, and then go back to living out my vehicle. So I wasn't always eating the healthiest of foods. I did a lot of fast food stuff. I never had the opportunity to have home cooked hot meals. So a lot of times I'm eating a lot of like cold deli meats and shit like that. So sometimes you can acquire like parasites. I didn't know for a fact that I had them because I didn't go to doctors to get tested. I only assumed, okay, based off of some symptoms and things that I was experiencing. So I took it upon myself to heal myself. So I researched. I have a sister who's very well versed in this type of thing. I consulted with her. She prescribed some things for me in terms of like supplements to take. And that's what I did when I was in Florida. So my whole mindset was to heal my body and to just strengthen my body and just focus on taking care of myself. And that's what I was doing. So that's why I didn't really, for like a good year or two, I didn't really post videos about gang stalking. I posted videos about me being in nature, videos about raising your vibration, just positivity. I showed some videos of foods that I was eating, supplements I was taking, stuff like that. So, but that doesn't mean I wasn't going through the harassment. Okay, don't let the videos that I posted about that showcases these paradise looking environments fool you. Okay, these were moments and times to where I had peace and I wanted to share with my TI family. Okay, because oftentimes you go through this stuff and it's like you never get peace. It's like no matter what you do, but there are certain seasons and moments in your life to where you can attain that. And I like to capture it and share it with my TI family and also send that energy out so that you guys can also attain and have that peace for the moment. And always make sure you cherish it because you never know how long it's going to last. So just make sure you cherish it. But so again, that's why I didn't post a lot of my experiences in Florida because I had the mindset that I was going to be positive. I'm going to ignore this shit as best as I could. I'm here to tell you there's no ignoring this shit. Okay. Even the Bible, your Bible says, be sober and vigilant, for your adversary roams about like a lion, seeking whom he may devour. You have to be vigilant. There's no ignoring this shit. Because if you ignore it, they can set you up and they can get you in jail or get you killed. So you have to pay attention to what's going on, okay? So I'm here to tell you, you got these people on here that don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Oh, just ignore it. Why does it bother you? Blah, blah, blah. You have to pay attention to what's going on, okay? It's your reaction and responses that you can control. But never think for a moment that you don't have to pay attention to it because you do, okay? Just don't let it rule you. Don't let it cause you to be uh what is that term called? Hyper vigilant, because it can cause you to be that way. But just sometimes it is good to kind of shut your brain off at times and just catalog certain things that happen, but don't dwell on it too much. So again, it's all about balance. So anyways, let me go ahead and play this video. The setting of this was I was parked at a church in Hot Springs, Florida. I had gotten arrested for in Polk County, Florida for some ridiculous ass charges. So one of the charges was resisting an officer without violence, which I never even knew existed. Okay, resisting an officer without violence, really? Hmm. And then I also got arrested for this is the same arrest, by the way. It was two charges, same arrest. Unlawful possession of a handcuff key. Now, again, I worked as a security officer in the state of Texas. I have my equipment. Okay. I was living out my car. It wasn't a situation where I could just leave my equipment somewhere. I always have my equipment in my vehicle. Okay. Handcuffs, duty belt, just like police officers wear, the whole nine. So my handcuff keys I kept on my key ring. Now, when you look at the statute pertaining to unlawful possession of a handcuff key, which I'm going to pull up now real quick, just to give more context. Second, look up that statute. Where is it? Yep, here it is. If that's even the right, some of these links. Here it is. Subsection C, I believe. Steel handcuff key means any handcuff key carried by a person in a manner that it indicates an intent to prevent discovery of a key by a law enforcement officer, including but not limited to a handcuff key carried in the pocket of a piece of clothing of a person and unconnected to any key ring. The handcuff key that was found on me was connected to a fucking key ring, okay? But they still charged me with the bullshit. So this is what I'm talking about when they put these fake bullshit ass charges on you, or they get these deputies that don't know the fucking law. And I explained that to the fucking deputy that arrested me, and they still took me in, okay? One thing that is very important as a targeted individual, whatever area that you're living in, even if you're living abroad, always make it a point to learn the laws of the land, especially anything that's pertaining to your harassment. Whatever it is that they're trying to do to get you set up on, know the laws on that. So when they come to you, you can quote these laws to these people so that, it shows that you have intelligence. It shows that you have knowledge of these situations. So when they try to get over on you, it's a little bit harder. That night that I got arrested, there was an agenda to take me in. So it didn't matter how well versed I was on the law, okay? They were still going to take me in. All right? So that's what I got charged with. So I'm mentioning this in correlation to this video because I was working for the work from home company before I got arrested, right? When I got arrested for those charges, they locked me up for over 30 days. The company that I work for has a policy. It's a what is it called? Uh, no show or no reaching out for 3 days is an automatic termination. So if you don't call in or say why you're out and it's past 3 days, it's an automatic termination. So obviously that's what happened to me. I was locked up for over 30 days in the frost-proof jail. Matter of fact, let me go to that map and show y'all where this shit's at. And there's not going to be a red dot in that area because obviously when you get arrested, they cut off your cell phone. So this is Winter Haven, Florida. It's right here. This is where I was in jail at, frost-proof. Okay. I have to make a whole nother video about my experience in that jail. They tortured the fuck out of me. They had me. I have to make a whole nother video. I don't know exactly where the jail was at. I just remember it was frostproof because when I had made a phone call to someone, uh, they asked me where the jail was at, and I had to ask the deputy, and they told me that it's frostproof. So that's where I was at. All right. So again, I'm mentioning this because this was the time when I actually got out of jail. Obviously, I didn't have a job. The employers that I was working for, that I'm still currently working for, once I was able to get out of jail, I contacted my manager, and they were happy to hear from me. They wanted me to work back for them, okay, but I had to get back on this waiting list because they were having a new wave of new recruits that they were going to hire, and they had to include me in that group. So there was like a waiting list I had to be on, so I had to wait like 2 or 3 months before I could actually get back to work. So during that 2 to 3 month period, I'm back living on the streets again, back in my vehicle. Okay. So this is a situation that I was parking at a church in High Springs, Florida. I can actually show you where it's at on the map. 1 second. Out. Where was this at? This was Alachua. Alachua's up here near Gainesville. There's Gainesville. There's High Springs, where I want right here. High Springs, Florida. This is the road. I'll show you what this is. See, there's even a dot at that location. My mouse is tripping. Here it is. Okay. Matter of fact, let's get an actual visual. Second. How do I do this? That. What's here? Come on. It's supposed to show. Second. Do I have to pull up another dang map? I do. High Spring. Yeah. Right there. That church is somewhere over here. Before the fire station. It was after that. Somewhere over here. Dollar General. It was before that. Still that? Oh gosh. I was also parked at that church too, but the church that I'm talking about is hiding. Okay. After that Dollar General. Might have been after that Dollar General. Kind of close to the freeway. Okay, so there's the freeway. Right here. Impact Family Church. This is it. Alright. Here, get like a what you call it. Uh I want the street view, what I'm trying to get to. What's here? There we go. Alright. So let's see. Go back here. This is the church, okay? It was at nighttime. This is where I was parked at. Right over here in this area, off to the side of the church. Okay, this church is kind of a big church. Not It's definitely not a mega church, but and then look at the surrounding. Okay, this is straight country bunking area. Nothing but trees and forestry. Okay, country roads. All right, there's the name of the church, Impact Church. So I'm showing you this to show this is where I was at that night. So let me just play the video. I'll play it in its entirety and I'll come back and give narration.
I don't know why these people are. They got these little girls over here walking around my vehicle. I don't know who's sending them over here. I don't know what's going on. I'm parked in a church parking lot. They're involved in organized stalking and harassment. They got the alert that I was here and they sent these children out here to. It's all orchestrated by police. I'm just recording my surroundings, what's going on in case anything happens.
I was so tired that night. So, yeah. Um, they will send children. That's another thing you have to be aware of when you're going through this. That's how relentless and psychotic these people are. They will use their children, which I believe that if you use your children to engage in this type of harassment against people, you don't love your child, and it's more likely that you're actually abusing that child physically and probably sexually. Okay? There's no parent that would put their child in danger of someone that's been deemed a terrorist and it's on a watch list, right? So that just goes to show that it's all bullshit. These people know that we're not fucking terrorists. Because why would they just have their children come out there and engage in that type of activity? For one, it's late night, okay? That's number one. And two, did you see how they tried to run off after I started recording? Now, prior to that, for a whole 20, 30 minutes, these little girls were playing around my vehicle. I was laid back sleep or trying to get some sleep. I could hear them playing around. I was still laying down. I didn't even get up to look. I was like, I'm just gonna hope that whoever it is, whatever's going on, they just go away. This was late at night, okay? And they're frolicking around my vehicle, laughing, jeering insults at me, uh, talking about, oh, look at this old guy, blah blah blah. And I'm just laid back, like just shaking my head, like this is fucking ridiculous, okay? So again, they will use their children to stalk and harass targets as well. Now, they were trying to bait me in and they were trying to bait me into something. I think they wanted me to get out my vehicle to approach them so they could go off and say, "Oh, this dude did something," and then there's the probable cause for the police to come out, right? Oh, what are you doing here? You trespassing about, the whole shenanigan, the same routine that these people do. Okay, so they were trying to bait me in, or they were trying to set me up to get shot. They could go and say, go to their parents or whoever it is that sent them over there, like, oh yeah, this dude, blah blah blah, and that'd be a reason for somebody to come confront me about some shit. Anything could have played out, but see, in this situation, if you noticed, I stayed in my vehicle the whole time and I just documented what was going on. Okay, so again, the question is raised: what would make these little girls so comfortable with playing around the vehicle of a stranger? Again, mind you, I'm a tall black dude, bearded up, okay, looking rough. I'm homeless again. Got held up on some charges, lost my job, back homeless again, living on. I'm looking rough, okay? What would make them so comfortable with playing around my vehicle of a stranger? Just so carefree like that. You have to, the unwitting person has to ask that question. So when the target tells you that this shit is orchestrated, that people get alerts when you're a certain area and they send these people out, there has to be some truth to it. Okay? You best believe there were people watching in the distance. There were adults watching in the distance as these little girls was doing this shit, waiting for me to get out my car so they could have a reason for whatever evil they were trying to do. On church grounds. Have mind you, on church grounds. Okay? So that is a major question that would have to be asked in the court of law. What would make y'all so comfortable being around this stranger's vehicle like that? You get what I'm saying? Because they were instructed, they got briefed on the situation, and they felt safe enough to do it because they knew I'm not a danger. Okay? So again, And then as soon as I start recording, they want to play victim or whatever and kind of like run off. They went into acting mode. But prior to that, like I said, for 30 whole fucking minutes, they were dancing around my vehicle, jeering insults at me. Okay. Doing their little dances and all this old kind of stuff, playing around my vehicle. I'm like, okay. And so, yeah, that's another example. That's clear cut evidence right there of what I'm talking about, of what a lot of us talk about with going through this shit.
I don't know why these people are. They got these little girls over here.
Late night in a
Walking around my
country,
vehicle.
in a
I don't know
country,
who's sending them over here. I don't know
in
what's going on.
in a country bunking ass town in Florida. All right. So it don't stop. Like I said, churches I was at in the state of Texas, this same type of shit was going on, and it happens out here too. It's there's no fucking difference. Okay, same shit. All right. Let me play the next. Yeah, play this next video. This one right here is a good one, real good one. I was at a park in Alachua, Florida. Okay, and I made a prediction as to an encounter that was going to happen. Okay, and the prediction was just so on point. It was creepy. Like you would think, like, damn, this dude's a psychic. Your intuition is on point. But mind you, you go through this shit for a while. You learn these people's tactics. You know how they operate. Okay. Now, granted, there is some psychic ability stuff that goes hand in hand with this shit. In my case, anyways, I'm able to. It's like a spidey sense. These people have likened me or have made jokes about me being Spider-Man. They've mentioned a few different superheroes. Okay, Spider-Man being one of them because I can see around corners. Okay. I even had a dude that I stayed with out here in Florida, which is the reason why I came out to Florida, was because he had a house out in Florida. Oh, I just want to help you. We can help each other out, blah, blah, blah. I'll make another video about that. But anyways, he says to me, and we refer to each other as brother. He says, brother, you sure do know how to escape grief. Okay. So it's just that, again, that intuitive ability, that God given intuitive ability that a lot of us have. Okay. You just got to tap into it and just know. You know without knowing. You're able to see around corners without even having been around the corner. The ability to sit across your neighbor's house and look at their house and know what's going on in that house. That type shit. That type of skill. Okay. So anyways, let me go ahead and play this video. So I'm here at this park chilling. Again, this is during the time period I'm on the waiting list to get hired back onto my job. So again, I'm just trying to find places that I can park and just be out of sight and lay low until I can get back to work. Okay. So yeah, I'm at a park chilling, and I made a prediction as to what was going to happen, and it actually happened. So let's watch. This one's kind of long, but it's worth watching and listening. All right, I'm a victim of organized stalking and harassment. It's a program conducted by local law enforcement where they send out agent provocateurs to stalk and harass the target. I am here at this park. The reason why I'm recording is because I'm here at this park. It's a closed down park. This park has not had any maintenance or upkeep in months, if not years. But just to kind of show, that gate right there is locked and closed. And it's just deserted. It doesn't look like anyone's done anything with it. This looks like it's like a baseball field, but there aren't any signs that say no trespassing or anything like that. I just want to get footage of the parking lot. There are no vehicles here. This park is it's very hidden. Does not look like a popular place that anyone would, would want to come to. All right, to my point from earlier, context, context, context. Make a pre-recording of the environment before the harassers show up. Okay, it's important to do that because again, if you're having to go before the courts, you're trying to articulate the situation and what was going on. It's important to have those details and have those things displayed on your video. Okay, so do it before and after. Record what's going on. You see how clear it is. Nothing's going on. Stop your video. Whenever they show up, start recording again. Or if you have the memory, you can just keep it running. It just depends. I'm living out my vehicle. My power, my battery sources and stuff like that is limited. I'm trying to conserve stuff. These people can drain the battery out your vehicle and shit like that. So I had to be very careful about conserving energy and stuff like that. So I had to stop videos and start stuff back up. So
The reason why I'm parked here, I live out of my vehicle, so I try to find spots where I can park and be to myself. The most discreet locations that I possibly can, the most hidden locations. What they'll do, law enforcement will dispatch these agent provocateurs out to the target's location for the sole purpose of provocation, for the sole purpose to be meddlesome. Stalking is a crime in the state of Florida, and these people have to know my whereabouts 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, okay, in order to encounter the target and pull off their shenanigans. All right, they will do things like try to walk their dog near your vehicle. They'll get in your vicinity, smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke, and they know this because they profile the target for years to know what the target likes, what they don't like, places they like to go, and stuff like that, people they like to hang out with. So they'll have these people, kind of get in your vicinity and smoke cigarettes, blow cigarette smoke your way and stuff like that. So I'm just documenting. This is the only entrance to this park as far as vehicles are concerned. So I'm going to have my camera trained right in that direction where the entrance is to that little road right there. Okay, that's where my vehicle is parked. I'm in the shade. It's summertime. It's June the 11th, I believe, 2022. It is 9:37 a.m. It's very hot in the state of Florida in summer.
once again, educational purposes. Always mention what time it is, the date, all that. It's important, especially if you don't have a time. In this instance, I didn't have my body. I wasn't using my body cam in this instance because usually with my body cam, it has the date and time embedded in the video itself. So when you're using your cell phones and stuff like that, always make it a point to mention the time and date and your whereabouts and stuff like that.
And especially in summers, rather. So I basically just try to find spots where I can park that's shaded to where I can get, kind of like cool breeze and stuff like that. So that is my vehicle. Let me pan around some more so you can kind of get a visual of the surrounding area. All right. And I'm not saying that places that I go, people shouldn't be at. I'm not going to say that. But what I would like to point out is that certain areas, the probability of anyone being at these certain areas are slim to none, especially considering the circumstances and the environment. So oftentimes I choose these discrete locations, these hidden locations, because that will give me clear-cut evidence as to who's actually seeking after me or stalking me. Okay. I'm not the only person that's going through this. There are people on YouTube that have complained about the same thing. They posted videos of their harassers. What these people will do, there was a truck that just passed through here. What people will do is bear with me 1 second. Just trying to observe some stuff off in the distance. So yeah, people will post videos of their encounters and just basically give a description of what's going on. They'll do narrations just as I'm doing right now and stuff like that. So I may have to cut this video short because I need to conserve memory and also conserve my battery for this device that I'm using to record. So yeah, I'm out here in peace. I'm just out here to myself.
So when I cut the video short, that's when I use this software here, this Bandicut stuff. It's excellent software. It has served me well. So I cut the video short, and then when I start up a second video, that's when I would then apply it to this software, pick out the videos, and then join them, just to show you how that works. So if you guys want to invest in this, I definitely recommend to invest in this. It's really good, for screen sharing and be able to like, make little videos like this. So, these people are sent to harass me. I'm not going around harassing or bullying anyone. These people are dispatched to my location for the sole purpose of provocation. And they know what they're doing. They will walk around and act like they're just being normal. And to the untrained eye, to the unwitting person that has no idea about these programs, when they watch these footages, oftentimes people may think, oh, the person recording is crazy or they're mentally unstable. This person is just walking around. This person is just walking their dog. No, I assure you, no matter where the target goes, I could be deep off in the forest. You best believe they're going to send these individuals out for the sole purpose of provocation. It's also called covert surveillance. They will set up scenes. They will have multiple people show up and act like they're all just, meeting up there and just going about their business, but they know exactly what they're doing. Okay, it's a very creepy thing to deal with, especially when you're living out your vehicle, it's becomes nighttime. You want to try to find a secure spot to where you can just park, and that nobody is going to be in that area because it's nighttime, right? So sometimes I might choose business complexes, certain business complexes that I know that don't have security. And once again, my whole logic in selecting some of these places is to try to catch these perpetrators. Now, if law enforcement shows up at a business, um, and they're trying to question me as to why I'm there, especially if they didn't get a call, I'm not obligated to assist them with any investigation. First and foremost, how do you know that I don't have permission by the owners of that place to be there to begin with? Okay. Especially one thing that you have to also ask the law enforcement officer, don't give information, but you can ask them questions. So I would in turn ask them, like, do you have power of attorney over this property? And that is something that is definitely going to have to be answered in the court of law if there's a situation where you're arrested for some bullshit, okay? They have no knowledge as to whether or not you have permission to be there, so they have no authority. So again, when you know the law, when you make yourself well versed on the laws of the land and the areas that you're in, you have power. That doesn't necessarily mean that you won't be that you can beat the ride. You got officers that are retarded that are totally ignorant of the law and they'll still take you to jail. Okay? There's still that aspect of it. But if you know the law and you get arrested for this shit, you know that you're going to be good. You know your case is going to get fucking dismissed because the law, that's what the law states, okay? They can't come and tell you to move around if they don't have power of attorney of that property and they don't have an authorized representative of that property or the property owner themselves. They have to be out there to tell you you can't be there. And that's when the officer issues a trespass warning. That's how that shit works. So you have to know the law. Okay. I wasn't intentionally parking in these places just for fun or to get a rise out of cops. Okay. I was trying to fucking survive. While I was trying to survive, I was also trying to expose this criminal activity that was being enacted upon me. Okay? So I just wanted to get that straight. Let's continue watching. Stuff like that, just to kind of, um, just to kind of be able to capture these criminals whenever they show up. Okay? Churches are a known spot that I like to go to as well because I know overnight there's no activity at churches overnight. Okay? It would be very incriminating on their part if they had agent provocateurs show up overnight as I am lodged or parked in a church parking lot. Okay, that's what I just said. That would be very incriminating. Most churches don't have cameras and things of that nature. So the question would then be, how does this person, how did these people know uh, that the target was there? That would be a good question that would need to be asked in the court of law. Or what is your purpose for being there? I have purpose as to the reasoning as to why I'm there. It's because I'm homeless, living out my vehicle, trying to find a safe spot to be at to where I don't have weirdos walking up to my car, asking me for cigarettes, or smoking cigarettes by my window while I'm trying to get some fucking sleep. Okay? It was suggested, oh, why don't you park at Walmart? No, I've tried all that fucking shit, man. That's a haven for these people to come up and do stuff like that to you when you park at these department stores, these super center stores and stuff like that. Okay? So again, There was a method to my madness. I'm not as stupid as I look.
How did the target know that people would show up there overnight? Okay, so this is why I make these types of videos, to kind of protect myself. Just these pre-recordings in case anything does happen. Um, it'll be me just basically predicting and proving what I've been claiming for years that's been going on, which is this organized community harassment, community mobbing, also known as gang stalking. They use different people in the community to do it. They use people, of all creeds and colors, ethnicities. It's a community effort, basically, to come against one person. Oftentimes, they do this to people that they may deem influential. They'll do it to people um, that they consider social misfits, or dissidents of sorts. People that go against the grain of social norms, or go against the grain of the government. Um, this is the type of thing that they'll do to individuals. They did this type of thing to Martin Luther King, J.F. Kennedy, just to name a couple people,
I
Malcolm
meant John
X.
F. Kennedy.
Anybody that is a threat to their evil agenda of running this world, can be put on this list and be targeted for pretty much death. I mean, their goals, one of the three things that I know for a fact that they try to accomplish, is they either want the target to be locked up, put in a mental facility, or if they can pull it off, get the target to kill themselves, because they can't take, the onslaught of harassment and slandering and systematically disenfranchising the target. So some people, that are kind of weaker, will attempt to, or actually will kill themselves. So
Can you imagine having to go from job to job, okay? And you work a job, you can only keep the job 3 or 4 months because you're being workplace mobbed, get fired, you have to start over again, get another job, same pattern of harassment, get fired, have to start over. Can you realize the psychological effect that can have on a person where all you want to do is just work and not be a part of any uh, uh, organized effort to try to just basically disenfranchise you and just keep you from excelling or keep you from moving up? Can you imagine what that's like? And then on top of that, having law enforcement come in and arrest you for bogus charges. You go to jail, you lose your job, you get out of jail, and you're having to start over again. On a continual basis, this is happening. It's no reason why people go on these mass shootings, man. You have to be a very strong willed, strong minded individual to be able to endure this shit without lashing out in a manner that's violent and taking out these people. It takes the mental capacity of Professor X. That's why they liken some of us to superheroes, because they've did direct a conversation to me like, wow, it's a wonder he hasn't killed anyone yet. They'll say shit like that because they know the torture that they put us through. Okay, and again, I don't condone the mass shootings that have occurred, but I can understand why these people did what they did. I am almost like 99% certain a lot of these mass shootings that have occurred were from people that were targeted, and they had enough. They had enough. They couldn't deal with the shit no more, and that was the only way that they felt that they could get some sort of relief, was to go out and do what they did. I want to be very clear. That will never be me. Okay, my heart goes out to these individuals, these targets that gave up in that manner, because I know they probably just they couldn't take it no more, and I totally understand. Okay, but again, I don't condone any doing anything like that. That will never be me. My mental is extremely strong and intact, and will be to the day that I die. Okay, but I can understand why these people did what they did. I want to put that out there. Being arrested, having these people confiscate your firearm, and these police departments, they steal your ammunition. They don't give you your ammunition back. You'll get your firearm back, but they keep all your fucking ammunition. So that's essentially what they were doing to me. I would buy this ammunition to have it, and then what they would do is they give me back my firearm, but like, oh no, we don't give back the ammunition. You don't get that back. for safety purposes. We can't give that to you and you're in a police station, you know. So they keep that. So you can understand the frustration of having to deal with this bullshit. Let's continue.
That is not me. That will never happen with me. But this is what they.
Oh, just love. Love everyone. It's just all about love. If you just love, this stuff won't be happening. Get the fuck up out of here with that bullshit. These people are hypocrites. Straight up hypocrites, or they've never experienced targeting themselves to know what it's like to deal with this type of shit. It don't matter how loving. Look at the story of Jesus. This is supposed to be the most loving being that ever existed on the planet, the most purest being that ever existed on this planet. What did they do to him? What did they do to him? And what are they currently doing to targeted individuals? When you read that Bible, a lot of the experiences that some of these people had in the Bible is very similar, if not the very same thing that targeted individuals are going through. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you about persecution? You got people in these churches that feel like they're being persecuted. Oh, I couldn't pay my light bill on time. Lord, I'm persecuted. I'm just going through it. And I just couldn't pay my bills and stupid shit. Come and observe the life of a targeted individual, and we can show you what true persecution is like. There is persecution that's going on under the noses of people that have no idea that this type of shit even exists. They are totally oblivious to it, but they feel like they're going through something. Shit, even in my persecution, I'm going through it, but I know there's other people going through worse than me. Okay? Let's continue.
These devils, these workers of iniquity.
Again, the premise of this video is prediction. As I've titled it, as predicted. We are awaiting the arrival of Perps and law enforcement, as I predicted in this video. Let's continue.
Iniquity aim for. So, again, I am here in peace. I predict possibly a vehicle or two may show up. You know, if they'll drive down this way, they might park over here in this
You can hold your peace. That doesn't mean there's going to be peace around you.
area, or what they always like to do, I notice, is they like to park in my blind spot. So notice how my vehicle is parked right now. So what they'll do is they'll swing around from this road, from the entrance to the park, rather, down this little graveled path into the parking area of the actual park, and they might park their car like right behind my vehicle. So my vehicle's right here. All right, this is the back of my vehicle, and then what they'll do is they'll probably park somewhere within this this section. You know, they always have to park.
Remember this part right here. Remember what I'm going to go back a little bit. Remember what I've said in this section right here. Let me go back.
All right, I predict possibly a vehicle or two may show up. You know, if they'll drive down this way, they might park over here in this area, or what they always like to do, I notice, is they like to park in my blind spot. So notice how my vehicle is parked right now. So what they'll do is they'll swing around from this road, from the entrance to the park, rather, down this little graveled path into the parking area of the actual park, and they might park their car like right behind my vehicle. So my vehicle's right here. All right, this is the back of my vehicle, and then what they'll do is they'll probably park somewhere within this this section. You know, they always have to park in the vicinity of the target. The whole point of it is they want the target to see the harassment. They want to be seen by the target so that they can elicit the reaction that they want to elicit from the target, okay, or the psychological effect that they want to you know, generate from the target. All right, so that's going to be my prediction. Again, I am here by myself. I did not come here to look for anyone to stalk or look for anyone to bully. You know, on my way to this place, I said to myself, you know, basically I had it in my mind that I knew no one was going to be here, and I'm coming here to sit to myself. That's it. So we'll see what transpires. Again, I may just cut the video short because I need to conserve my battery and also conserve the memory on the device itself. All right. And this is kind of a business area. You know, there are no residential homes in this particular area. The area that I'm in, it's mostly like industrial type of facilities where they manufacture things. You also have like a business complex that's around the corner of businesses that operate Monday through Friday but are closed on weekends. Those types of businesses. So that's why I kind of chose the business lot that I was at overnight, because I knew that, you know, most businesses like that are closed on the weekends, and I knew that I could, you know, kind of have a place to myself and be at peace. They did have an individual walk by with the dog earlier. Again, there are no residents in that area. Okay, they have a state park that's just within a couple miles from here, you know, where there's lots of thousands of acres of land to walk dogs and stuff like that. But for someone to come and walk in a business complex just to walk their dog, that's very suspicious. Around my vehicle at that. You get what I'm saying? So they always have to have encounters with the, they always like to have encounters with the target to provoke the target, okay? Once you've been going through this for a while, you can readily identify people that are actually a part of this program that are doing this, and other people that are just truly just out minding their own business, not bothering anybody, okay? They will put people up to get in the target's vicinity or sites. Some of these people may or may not even know why. They'll have people be like, hey, why don't you just go over there and walk your dog? Or, you know, they might give them some sort of incentive to do it, not knowing that they're engaging in something very evil and wicked. And these people have plausible deniability because you can't pinpoint what group is doing it. Because as I said earlier in this footage, I said that they use different people, different creeds and colors from all different walks of life to conduct this harassment. So that's how oftentimes, you know, they can use that as a means to say that the target is crazy. Like, oh, what, everyone's stalking you? Everyone's messing with you? When all it takes is just a few different people to do it. And as I said earlier, it is a community effort. It is a group effort. These people never work alone. You might see one of them by themselves, like if they're in your vicinity trying to pull off a shenanigan, it might appear as if there's one, but I guarantee you there are others that are in the vicinity that are hidden, that are ready to bear false witness against you in case something happens.
Remember what I said right here too, how I said that they're never alone. It's important to remember this marker here at 9:53, at 9 minutes and 53 seconds, and at 14 minutes and 5 seconds. Remember those two spots. Matter of fact, let me write this shit down. 1 second here. And what is it, 14:05? All right. Continue.
Okay. So I just want to be very clear. Something else that they may possibly do, they may park their vehicle somewhere that is not within my view, and they may access the park from another area. You know, they may park their car on the side of the road on the other side of the park and maybe walk through a gate or jump a gate or fence to make it appear as if they were already here. So that's something else to consider if there are no vehicles that roll through here. Something else to take into consideration is that they may enter the park from the other side of the road. I'm not aware or sure if this whole park is gated all the way around. So yeah, people could definitely park. See, like where that brown building is, that building is across the street. So somebody could easily park at that building or facility and then walk on over to the park. So that's something else to consider as well, just in case no vehicles come through here. Okay. There's plenty of land on this park from what I can see. All right. So there's no need for them to lurk around me. You know, there's all this forestry and nature, and there's like a field on the other side of this fence. So usually if someone's parked over here like this in the cut, obviously this might be a person who just wants to sit to themselves and not be bothered. But these agent provocateurs will show up They'll try to walk around the target, you know, just, you know. So, these people are criminals. You know, it is a criminal offense to get information as to the whereabouts of an individual, and then these people get dispatched to that location to try to fuck with the person. Okay? Alright, that's all I got for now. If there's anything that is of relevance to the theme of this video that comes up, I will be sure to start recording again. Thanks for watching, and you know, we'll see what happens next.
All right, so this is the point where I stop my video, and this is the point where I use the Bandicam software I was talking about, and I can join the two videos together. So this is what I used for educational purposes, and so yeah, I stopped it there, and here's the part where I predicted was gonna happen.
So, Alachua Police Department right there. This is a part 2 to the video that I was talking about. They don't send agent provocateurs, they send police.
I'm the only person at the park at that point.
Prime example of what I'm talking about. Organized stalking and harassment. Still think I'm crazy? This is a public park now. I'm not on private property. It's a public park.
See, they can't really approach me because, you know, it's public property, right? They have probable cause to approach me. They didn't even really have probable cause, because how do they know whether or not I have permission to be on private property? You know, a lot of times these officers would show up at these private property places I was at, and they would say they got a call, and what I discovered was, you know, I'd go to the police station the next day to do an open records request on the encounter to see if there was an actual call, and what I found was that there's no fucking call. So they're getting dispatched by the feds, you know, the fusion centers, you know, these agencies that they have that are involved in this, that orchestrate all this harassment, to come and have these encounters with me. Okay.
I'm not even gonna approach him. I'm just trying to get footage from the distance to see what's going on. Let's see, the Alachua Police. Still think I'm crazy? It's the Alachua Police Department. But they'll say that, oh, I'm a police auditor and I go out and look for.
Now, let me go to something else real quick. That same night, all right, I had this encounter. Let me go. Damn. Here. That same night, okay, I had an encounter, and I posted this video to my YouTube so you can check it out. All right, it's not normal for people to have these encounters like this many police encounters like that. I've talked to people that have lived out their vehicle for years and haven't had any fucking encounters. Okay, so it's just very damn. Where's this video? Past that. That. Right here. Look up this video. Alachua Police Department encounter. Okay. This happened that same fucking day, but it was nighttime, and I had an encounter with the Alachua Police Department again. So, like I said, I have a very special relationship with these police officers all across the country, it seems. Okay.
Had an. I do know auditors. When I was living in the state of Texas, I know.
All right. So that's a Alachua police officer right there. Alachua Police from the Alachua Police Department. Watch this video too. This happened that same fucking day, man. All right. And what was I doing? Sitting to myself, minding my own business, not sitting in my car drinking, doing drugs, just trying to be at peace. And this is the type of shit that was occurring. Okay. So I just want to point that out. This was that same day. Well, maybe not the same day, but it was during Okay, what I meant to say was it was during the same time frame that I was awaiting to be hired back on with the company that I was working for. Okay. In the beginning, this was like June the 5th. So there's the date right there, my body cam. So that's why I don't have to announce the time and date on my body cam because it automatically embeds it on the video itself. If you go back to this other video that I'm showcasing here, in the beginning of this video, I mentioned the date and time, which was June or July or something like that. Okay. I just wanted to make mention of that. Let's continue.
Trouble and all this kind of stuff. That's what they'll say. Oh, you just go to places and try to get a rise out of the police. No. It is June the 11th, 2022. It's 10:16.
There it is. What a coincidence. 1 second. June the 11th. What date was this?
Lots of auditors that watch my channel, and what they do is they take video
I said June the 11th. So this was prior. This was prior to that day when this encounter occurred, okay? This was June the 5th. All right? You connecting the dots, you see what I'm talking about? All right, let's continue.
10 a.m. And I'm just trying to get the name of this park. City of Alachua, Jan Preacher Copeland Park.
And see that other video that I just showed you with the other video I showed you on my channel where I had the police encounter with the Alachua police from San Felesco. Okay, so this is a park. This was a different park. In this video over here, I was at San Felesco State Park. So those were two different areas that I was in. Okay, just to be clear.
San Felesco Conservation Corridor, Alachua Phase. Nature Trail. Now see, this park has the hours of operation, okay? This is not the San Felesco State Park that I was at the other day. This one actually has, you know, its hours of operation. It says open dusk till dawn except by special permission.
I'm at dawn till dusk.
That's the cop car there. I guess he just decided to do a swing by. So yeah, I may get some further harassment on the road or get pulled over by these guys. Like I said, I am being stalked and harassed by members of the community and also by police officers as well. So, yeah. All right. Still think I'm crazy? These people are looking to try to find ways to get me in jail.
Again and again
Right.
and again.
Now, I'm not going to be surprised. Again, I'm going to have to cut this video short for the purpose of saving the battery life on the device and also saving memory. I'm not going to be surprised if they send, and then we have another agent provocateur that has shown up.
By golly.
Shortly after the police have shown up, you have an
By
agent
golly.
provocateur.
Didn't I just say that earlier? Didn't I, just as I was saying it? Okay. So this vehicle, the police gave the signal to tip off the perp to go ahead and engage the target. That's exactly what was going on in this situation. There's no fucking coincidences with this shit, man. And it's a red vehicle. Let's continue to watch. Matter of fact, let's go back to 9:53. 9:53, was it? Why is this not? What is going on with this thing? Don't you just love how your stuff starts messing up when you're trying to? Okay, was it here?
All right, this is the back of my vehicle, and then what they'll do is they'll probably park somewhere within this this section.
Bam. How did I know that? How did I know? Let's go back. Let's go back. This is them pulling up. How did I know that? I'm psychic, right? My intuition is just on point. 1 second.
I'm not going to be surprised if they sent, and then we have another agent provocateur that has shown up.
I can see and smell these people from a mile away. I don't have to use technology to know when these motherfuckers are around the corner. I can look in people's homes and tell you what they're doing. I have these abilities. Okay, this shit is not like I'm fully aware of my surroundings and shit that goes on around me. I don't need the technology. I don't need to send out flies and little bugs that have cameras mounted on them to see what's going on in a person's room. Straight intuition. Straight clairvoyance, psychic abilities, whatever you want to fucking call it, that is just natural to some people. Okay?
Shortly after the police have shown up, you have an agent provocateur that has shown up.
How did I know? That's the question. How did he know?
That police officer
where's she
tipped this
parking?
person off basically to
Where is she parking?
to show up. But I'm crazy. I guess I'm crazy.
Right behind me.
All right, I'm going to end this recording. If there's anything of relevance that shows up, again, I will go ahead and make another video. Thanks for watching.
Cause see, at this point, I'm like, okay, what are they trying to do here? Like, I'm trying to see. Okay, police showed up, they left, then this woman shows up. So I'm kind of nervous at this point. I'm like, okay, they're definitely up to something. Something's going on. Let's continue watching.
Just as I predicted, right? Right behind my vehicle. Didn't I say that earlier? Hi.
Sorry, am I in your way at all? I was just trying to, I have dogs, I'm trying to find a place to get salt from you. So when I get back in, I'll go back in.
See, I didn't want to make it obvious that I was recording her. I tried to play it off like I'm recording the trees or whatever. So I had to turn my camera away. Okay? So let's continue watching. These people get briefed on the fact that the target, if you're a TI that records, you best believe it's in your dossier, it's in your profile, so these people will adjust themselves accordingly. He actually has a nice little ass.
What she said did not make a lick of sense. Did you hear what she said? She said that she's trying to find a parking spot that is not so sandy so that when the dogs get back in, I guess so they don't mess up her car. Okay? If that was the case, why wouldn't you park your vehicle in the cement parking lot where you're less likely to get mud and grit in your vehicle? Okay?
And mind you, there were parking spaces available at the latter end of this parking lot that was shaded, okay? I intentionally parked in this area for the fact that it is a bit muddy because it had been raining previously for the past couple of days. It had been raining. So that's why I parked there so as to deter from any perpetrators parking next to me. But it don't matter where you park. You could park in the muddiest of places. They will have these people show up because they're paid to do so. Okay? There are times to where I have deliberately not showered and just you want to test things out when you go through this whole phenomenon, right? Because it's just out of this world crazy. So you try to test things. One of the things they try to do to TIs is they like to get in your personal space a lot, right? They like to make you as uncomfortable as possible. They'll have people get in your personal space. You're standing in line at a store. Even during COVID, right? There's supposed to be the rule of the 6 feet between people space rule. That didn't apply with targeted individuals. These people were all up in my fucking business, all up in my space. There were times to where I didn't even take showers. I would deliberately get myself musty and go in some of these places just to see if they'll stand next to me. Do you know these motherfuckers would still stand next to me? I'm like, I'm funky as hell right now. Like, really? So that stuff like that just makes me wonder, like, are these people even human? Like, what would like someone can pay you to go stand to someone that hasn't showered and is musty as hell? And like, I've tested it all. Like, I don't go around like being musty or whatever, but you test things out. You just want to see for yourself. Let me do this. Let me see if they come near me. That type thing. Let's continue.
This type of vehicle is, you see the funky decals on the back of it. These are the types of vehicles that are out there stalking and harassing people. Like when you see those decals, that's an indication. Not all the time, but in my experience of the harassment, these are the vehicles that they'll use for that purpose. So again, what she said made no sense at all.
She's parked in the fucking mud, right where I'm at. Some dog paws is gonna get in that mud and put that shit all in her car.
Maybe she parked here for the shade. It's hot. Don't want to come back to her vehicle, and it's
Once again, another question that has to be raised is this woman, this Caucasian woman. Again, I'm a tall black dude, bearded up, looking rough, living out my car. What would make her so comfortable with parking right next to my vehicle like that and engaging with me? Think about that. Caucasian lady, small build with some dogs. Clearly, the dogs are cool with me because they didn't bark not one time at me. You know, Animals are my friends, right? So, what would make this lady so comfortable? Going back to the other video, where we at 2353. Going back to the other video with the girls, right?
I don't know why these people are. They
Same
got these little
situation.
girls over here.
Same situation. What would make these little girls so comfortable with frolicking and playing around and lollygagging around my vehicle late at night? Again, tall, bearded black dude, homeless, looking rough, looking like the picture of terrorism, right? What would make these people so comfortable? That's another question that needs to be raised to the unwitting person that's watching these videos. You have to ask yourself that question. Now, clearly, this woman.
All right, I'm a
Give
bit
me another
earlier.
mouse. Clearly, this woman was briefed. She was notified. He is not hostile. There's nothing to worry about. He's friendly. Blah, blah, blah. Plus, the police were there to tip her off to give her the go ahead, as you saw earlier. You have to ask yourself that question. Mind you, it's just me and her at that park. And she walked off with the dogs, right? And she left her vehicle running. That's another telltale sign. Who does that? Tall, bearded black dude, looking rough. She parks her vehicle there. She walks off with it running. Okay. Was that supposed to be some sort of setup to see if I'd get in or try to like go through her vehicle and steal some shit? Could that have possibly been the case? So when you watch these types of videos, that's something that that's a question that definitely has to be raised. Let's continue watching. That vehicle, okay, that vehicle was still running. Okay, you can't hear it in in the video because of the other noises going on in the environment, but that vehicle was still running.
What she said did not make a lick of sense. Did you hear what she said? She said that she's trying to find a parking spot that is not so sandy.
And it had to have been running because it was a hot day. She took what, two dogs with her? She had a third dog that was still in the vehicle in the back seat, mind you.
So that when the dogs get back in, I guess so they don't mess up her car. Okay. If that was the case, why wouldn't
You can even see the movement, just to my point from earlier, you can see the movement of the dog in the vehicle if you look closely in the at the back window, the rear window. Let me go back just a little bit more. She walks off with that dog. Okay, so she had one dog with her. The other dog that she had, what was it too? One second. Let me go back a little bit more. It was like two little, she got two dogs. Like a big dog and then a smaller dog, I think. One second. Okay, just one dog there. The second dog was in the back seat. Pay close attention to one second. You can see the movement.
what she said did not make a lick of sense. Did you hear what she said? She said that she's trying to find a parking spot that is not so sandy so that when the dogs get back in, I guess so they don't mess up her car.
See? You can
Okay.
see the movement.
If that was the case,
There it is.
why wouldn't you park your vehicle in the cement
I could have been a
lot
dog kidnapper.
where you're
You
less
know what I'm saying? What
likely
made
to
her feel
get
so comfortable to park
mud and
where she parked at
grit
and just walk off
in
like
your
that?
vehicle? Okay. This type of vehicle is, uh, you see the funky decals on the back of it. These are the types
That's
of
another telltale sign as well in my experiences with the harassment and the vehicular stalking is that oftentimes these people will have these wacky decal stickers on the back of their vehicles and stuff like that. In my experience, that's what I've noticed. Like a lot of these people that engage in that activity, they'll have that type of stuff on the back of their vehicle. I guess that's a means of identification amongst their people when they're out on the roads, to indicate to the other people that are engaged in this criminal activity that they're one of them. That's the only thing that I can think of pertaining to that. But we'll continue watching.
vehicles that are out there stalking and harassing people. Like when you see those decals, that's an indication. Not all the time, but in my experience of the harassment, these are the vehicles that they'll use for that purpose. Um, so again, what she said made no sense at all. Uh, you know, I'm just getting documentation. And who knows? Maybe she, maybe she parked here for the shade. It's hot. Don't want to come back to her.
And see, the whole purpose of the law enforcement presence in that situation was to indicate to me to be cool. We're going to have our people come out and do the little psyop on you real quick, and we're going to be up out of there. So that's all that was. Okay. The law enforcement present initially, they leave, they signal to their perp to show up so that at least I have it in my mind that the police are there. But again, I'm not a criminal. I don't engage in criminal activity. So why would there even be a need for that? So again, it's all a psychological type of event to elicit some sort of response that would warrant an encounter with law enforcement to get you into one of their facilities. All right?
Vehicle and it's, the car's hot. It does appear that there is another dog in the car. But it sounds like she has the car running. Now, who does that? I'm a complete stranger, right? She has parked her running vehicle next to my vehicle, right? And then we have another agent provocateur that has shown up. All of a sudden, oh, these two are wearing blue. These two are wearing their blue.
See, it's the whole red, white, and blue, Masonic, whatever they do with their color code type bullshit. Red, white, and blue, cop lights, red, white, and blue. All the whole thing is connected. The whole purpose of sending um this second group here was to check on their other agents. That was the whole purpose of that. Have them roll up, check in on her, and that's it. Because they didn't stay there long. They pulled in, parked over there for a little bit, and then drove off eventually. Okay? That was the whole purpose of this scene right here. They had the police show up initially. The police tip off the first perp. First perp shows up, parks exactly where I said they were going to park, and then they in turn have this other node show up to check on their first perp, and there you have it. I'll continue the video.
So you've got the red car and the blue colored shirts. Nice color coordination. They've been having the red and blue around me a lot to indicate, a police encounter to come or police encounters to come. They're just working the little witchcraft or whatever. All right.
And they backed in.
Oh no, but I'm crazy.
Okay? They backed in so as to have a visual, just to see, like, okay, was I going to go over to her vehicle, try to get in or something, or whatever. Just stupid shit.
Why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? All right, once again, if anything of relevance comes up, I will be sure to document and record again. Thanks for watching.
Same day. This is the same day. This was the second police encounter at the same area that I was in. So like I said, I, you can believe in coincidences to a degree, but the frequency and consistencies of these types of encounters has to raise some sort of question as to what's really going on. Okay? When you see patterns of this thing happening, you have to know that there's more to it than just mere coincidence. This time, it was actually the Alachua Sheriff's Department. Initially, that first law enforcement agency was the Alachua Police Department. So now they had an actual sheriff deputy show up.
Another sheriff deputy that's pulling up over here. This is the Alachua County Sheriff's Department. Steadily trying to find ways. I'm still over here.
See, they can't approach me in this setting because in this setting I'm actually on public property, whereas on the other instances I was on property that's, deemed private property, and they approached me under the guise of they got a call. But once again, they would mention that to me in person, and then when the encounter is over with and you go to their police department to request an open records request, come to find out they never got a call. So why is the encounter happening to begin with? Okay? That's another question that needs to be raised.
Here at the park. Steadily trying to find ways.
see. This is the same day, June the 11th, 2022. It is 12:59 p.m. I'm still at the.
Again, for educational purposes, it is very important if you're using a recording device that does not have a timestamp embedded on the video, it is very important to state the date and time and the whereabouts of the encounters. It's very important. I have body cams that I use. Once again, the date, you have the option of embedding the date and time. You also have the option of not having it on there as well. But when you're using these cell phone devices, always make sure that you mention the date and time and the whereabouts of the encounter. Okay, it's very important. You also want to hold your camera in such a manner that you're able to capture a full scope view of the surroundings. Okay, you want to hold it uh, vertically as opposed to horizontally, so that you can get a fuller, just a better scope of what's going on. Or it might be the other way around, but just make sure you're holding the camera correctly.
Same park. They've had perps in and out of this place. And police as well.
Okay, so once again, I like to have receipts for what I say. I'm not just going to post videos and just talk about my experiences and not have actual receipts and evidence of what I'm talking about. Not taking away from other people that post videos that don't have any evidence, but they sit up there and just talk about what they're going through. I'm not taking away from that. I'm not saying that what they're saying is not true or anything like that, but my God, like if you're able to actually showcase what you're talking about and give visuals, that's something that people can, you know, relate to a lot better as opposed to not having any evidence of anything. So, yeah, again, even in the state of Florida, it's still the same narrative. It does not change. No matter where you go, it's still the same thing everywhere. So, that was the whole premise and point of me producing this. Again, I have so much footage that I have yet shared to my channel. I'm not one to like go through something and post every single little thing, but occasionally if I have something that's very juicy, it's always good to like showcase that. And again, just for educational purposes to the unwitting person that does not that is coming to the awareness of having to deal with this phenomenon, and they're trying to find people that they can uh, have camaraderie with and kind of share the same experiences with. It's always good to have good video footage um, showcase to people. So again, document properly, invest in flash drives to, have these footages saved. So in the event that you're having to go before the court of law, you can have this evidence to produce and just be able to articulate in a better fashion what's happening. I mean, that's it. Yeah, I'll be making some more videos pertaining to this matter. And I just appreciate the time. Thank you for watching. Do not be afraid to get these people on camera. Essentially, these people are engaging in criminal activity, ultimately. And it's your God given right to record. You have a First Amendment right to record. Granted that you're not recording in a personal space of, bathroom or someone's bedroom or something like that. You have every right to record in public. Again, it's all part of the Constitution, First Amendment right. Get very familiar with the laws of the land. Constitutional constitutional law is supreme law in the United States. Okay, it trumps state statute, it trumps state laws, it trumps federal laws. So it's very important to get very familiar with those laws and invoke your rights. Whenever you're having these encounters with these people, be sure to invoke all your constitutional rights. Um, anyways, that's all I got from now. Until the next one, thanks for watching.